In one click, your Figma design becomes a clean DOM structure with styles. Then you edit every element in DevTools, and every change is automatically saved to your HTML and CSS files. This helps you start development much faster. Unlike many other tools, this generated layout has no extra containers, doesn't use absolute positioning, and doesn't use z-index. Because of this, the DOM tree is clean, light, and works more efficiently. The layout is made only with div elements, so you will need to add semantics and responsiveness yourself. The service also helps automatically generate font files, making your setup easier. So, let's take a ready design and generate our page from it. I'm using a design from Figma Community. Now let's generate our web page. In the left panel, I've added the design link and entered my Figma token. Then I clicked the Get button. This service doesn't store your token. It sends it only once to Figma to fetch your design. Here is our loaded page. The loading process took 2 minutes and 20 seconds. I'll zoom out a bit. Everything we need is loaded here, and also some things we don't need. We'll remove part of this later. You can start working already, but I strongly recommend saving this layout to your local computer and loading it locally for future work. Why do I recommend this? Because if the internet connection breaks while you're working with this page, you will need to request the file from the server again and use your Figma request limit. To save the layout, click the Save Original button in the left panel. After clicking Save Original, you need to confirm saving the file locally by clicking Save and Clear. The saving process will take just a few seconds. Now let's take a look at the files we saved on our local computer. The layout is saved as a zip file, so let's unzip it. Here's the folder content. We have an index file, a styles file, and a fonts file. I'll explain how to work with the fonts file in a separate, very short video on our DivDeck channel. Next, we see the Assets folder. For now, it contains only one service SVG file. You can add other assets later if needed. We also have a folder with downloaded images. Now we'll upload our project from the local computer to continue working with it. We have two upload options. First option, we can upload a folder. For example, the folder I unzipped at the beginning of the video, where I already removed unnecessary images or made some changes to the files. Second option, we can upload a zip archive. This can be the original archive we downloaded or a new archive created from the modified folder. But please pay close attention to this point. If you archive the project with the root folder, it will not work. There must be no main root folder inside the archive. At the root level of the archive, you must have the index file and the styles file. If these files are missing, the service will return an error message, so make sure the files are placed at the top level of the archive, not inside an extra folder. Now I'll upload the project folder to the service. Click Upload. The upload will take from 3 to 20 seconds. This is much faster than fetching the project from the server. And here we are. We can already see our website. Let's take a look and compare it with the Figma design. All of this is not needed. Don't worry, we'll remove everything in just a few minutes. Let's start deleting unnecessary elements. Open the DevTools panel by pressing F12. In the left panel of the service, click the Delete Element button and start selecting elements you want to remove. You can select an element by clicking on it with your mouse. The selected element will start blinking. If you click it again, it will be deselected and the blinking will stop. Look, I click it again, now it's blinking. And in the top panel, you can see its styles. This is very useful for visual control, especially when working with other buttons. Once the element is blinking, click Delete Element in the left panel. Now select the next element and click Delete. Then the next one. Select and click Delete. As you can see, we can delete elements one by one, but this takes time. So let's do it faster and find a higher level group in the DOM tree. For example, here is a main container. Let's select this one. Watch how we can select elements. Sometimes it's hard to select an element directly in the browser view. In that case, you can select it directly from the DOM tree. And here we have the magic DivDeck button. Installing this button in the DevTools panel is very easy. At the bottom of the left panel, you'll find the link to download the DivDeck extension. You can watch a separate video on this channel to see how to install the extension for the Chrome browser. Now we click this magic button. It activates the element for deletion that we last clicked in the DevTools DOM tree. We've removed everything that was blocking us at the top. Now let's clean the right side. I'll select the top container of this group of elements. You can see the whole group blinking, the entire container. Now, in the left panel, click Delete. Now we don't have unnecessary elements on the right side, but we still have elements at the bottom. Look, there is a scroll at the bottom. Again, we find the main container in the DOM tree and delete it. If there is a bottom scroll, it usually means there is still something on the side. Let's find unnecessary elements and remove them. You already know how to do this. Okay, now I don't see the bottom scroll anymore. That means the right side is clean. Now let's remove all these small elements and start from the top. Let's do a quick comparison with the Figma design. We don't have this label in the design here, so let's remove it right away. We removed this one, but another label appeared below. We remove it as well. These elements are also not in the design, so we remove them too. In this case, it's convenient to select elements directly with the mouse. And look, when we remove these elements, the layout becomes correct. It looks like we're done with this section. Next, we see another unnecessary label, so we remove it. After that, a second label moves up. We remove it as well. Another label appears, and another one. We remove them all. There are many unnecessary labels here, and we need to remove all of them. Wow, we accidentally found the entire container with unnecessary elements, and we removed it. Now only 2 labels are left. I can't select them with the mouse. Let's try to find them in the DOM tree. But I don't see these label elements in the DOM tree either. So what can we do in this case? You can try to search for them manually, or you can do the following. First, we don't delete anything using the Delete Element button. We completely turn it off in the left panel. Then, in the DOM tree, we find the element that is covering our label, and we simply press the Delete key on the keyboard directly from the DOM tree. After that, we turn Delete Element back on in the left panel. By the way, we still have one more label here. Now we click Delete Element and delete second element. We've done it, but now we need to restore what we deleted. Move the mouse cursor back to the DOM tree and click. Then press Ctrl+Z on the keyboard. The elements are back. Now we turn off the blinking. We've removed most of the unnecessary elements, although, as you can see, one is still left. Let's quickly remove it. And one more element. It looks like we're done. We can release the Delete Element button in the left panel. Let's move on to the next step. Before we continue, I want to point out something important. This service works correctly only in the Chrome browser.